right, welcome back again, Crushing It 2021. This is day 26. Now, day 26 is going to go right along with day 25, which was systems and routines. In this video, we're going to talk about the importance of organization and being clutter-free or decluttering. So what you're going to find in here is the importance of it, how to stay that way, and what to do to get started being clutter-free and organized. Now, let me just tell you from my perspective. I get overwhelmed, flustered, and paralyzed when there's disorganization and clutter in my life. I feel stressed, it interrupts my flow, and it robs me of my energy, my happiness, and my productivity. And the truth is, probably does that to all of you. You just don't notice. Or maybe you just know you don't feel right, but you don't know exactly why. It's kind of like eating a bad food and not knowing it affects you until you stop doing it. But I knew for a long time I have ADD issues, and keeping things clear, clutter-free, knowing where things are makes me more productive. Plus, if things get too overwhelming, then I hit that procrastination, overwhelm cycle where I just close down, and I have so much trouble even getting started. I mean, I just want to put myself in bed, veg on Netflix, or bury my head in sleep. I just can't face the world when it's like that. So I also believe in energetically freeing up space. So if you want something new or different or better in your life, you've got to release things. You've got to release and clear and free up space energetically. Why would you get something new, better, or anything more if you don't have space for it? You've got to energetically make space. And if we don't take good care of what we do have by just letting it pile up, or we don't release it to give it to somebody else, to let somebody else be blessed, all we're doing is bogging ourselves down from having everything we could have in our life. So our space makes us feel good or bogged down, light or free, heavy or unmotivated. It just really depends on how you want to feel. So let's talk about freeing up that energetic space and what it looks like. Why is it important to be organized and clutter-free? Well, first of all, did you know that we don't use about 80% of what we keep? 80%. Do you need only 20% of what you have? You're only using 80%. Think about that. How much better would you feel if you only had the things that you used? We would eliminate about 40% of our household upkeep or chores if we would eliminate our clutter and get organized. And we'd save ourselves, listen to this, 12 days a year or 55 minutes a day, almost an hour a day of time that we spend searching for things if we were just organized. So I'd say saving 12 days a year of our life is a big deal. What could you do with 12 days back? And what would your life be like if you only had the 20% of the things that you actually use? Why are we hanging on to so much stuff? Well, let's talk about how to deal with it. How do you stay clutter-free and get organized? Well, first of all, anything you have, you deal with it. If you have your hand on it, you deal with it. You set up those routines like we talked about earlier, yesterday in that video. So if you bring the mail in, most of that mail is junk. You deal with it while it's in your hand. Don't set it down. How many times have you set it down and come back a week later with the next little batch of mail and set it on top of there, and now you have a week's worth of mail piling up there? Most of it's junk, so deal with it. Put to the shredder what needs to go to the shredder, put to the recycling what needs to go to the recycling, put the bills where the bills go, and that's it. Deal with it now. The biggest tip I can give you is if you have something in your hand, deal with it. It takes more time and energy and space to put it down, go do something else, and come back and pick it up again. So if you got something in your hand, deal with it, okay? If you have a dish from dinner, don't go set it next to the sink. Do it right then. If you pulled something out of the refrigerator, don't go and eat your food, put it away. I mean, just deal with it right now. If you use a towel out of the shower, hang it up. If you brush your teeth and got the toothbrush and toothpaste out, put it back. Like, deal with it as you go. That's the biggest first tip that I can give you. It's the first thing that you can start doing. Let's talk about next, which is get rid of it. What are we hanging on to and why? We're hanging on to things that have holes in them, that are broken, things that don't bring us joy, happiness, or that we don't love. And we're hanging on to clothes that we never wear. Talk about 80%. My rule of thumb is if I haven't worn it in 6 months or a year, then it needs to go. I try to regularly go through and clear out my closet. I did it today. In fact, I started a new box. I keep a box going all the time of things to give away. And I just regularly clear on an ongoing basis. If something's broken, I know you want to hang on to it. I know you think it's going to come in useful, but it probably isn't. And if you've hung on to it for 6 months and you haven't used it, for sure, it's time to get rid of it. Half the time you can't find it anyway, because the big thing is you can't organize clutter, guys. It can't be organized. There's not enough boxes. There's not enough bookcases. There's not enough drawers to organize crap and clutter. Okay. So if it has holes, if you're wearing clothes with holes, is that making you feel your very best? Do you walk around with your shoulders back and your head held high, feeling like you're looking great when you're walking around with holes in your clothes? No. Stains? No. If they can't be repaired, get rid of them. And don't give those to somebody else, because if they can't be repaired, they're not going to need to be walking around with holy clothes either. Those can be recycled into some place where they make quilts out of different fabrics or something like that. If you don't wear it, get rid of it. 6 months. If you're not wearing it, like we only wear like a handful of things. It's like we only cook a handful of meals, we only use a handful of dishes, and we only wear a handful of clothes. So like I said before, 6 months, you decide 6 months or a year. If you haven't used it, get rid of it. I think the same thing, if you have anything, if you put in a box and you don't use it in 6 months, give it away, because you're not going to use it. You're not going to, like, let's be real. And if you can't find it or see it, you're not going to use it. But back to the clothes. We don't put those clothes on because they don't fit right. They're not comfortable. There's something wrong and we don't feel our best in them. So just go ahead and release them. All you're doing by hanging on to them is bogging down your own energy, because you know they're there, but you're not wearing them. Release them to somebody else who would love to have that shirt that doesn't make you happy, and they'd be so happy to have it. That's giving you an energetic release and boost, but it's also helping you build, good karmic savings, because you're giving to somebody, and giving is a great feeling. It's one of those things that makes us feel good about our lives and what we do. So give away, give release. There's people who would be so happy to have what you have. So we dealt with, okay, let's talk about sentimental or keepsakes. The only time it's ever sentimental is if you actually pull it out and look at it. And how often do you do that? If you can't take a picture of it or do something like that, or then, and you don't have anybody in the family that would really treasure it, but you cannot part with it, then put it in a box and put it in storage. Don't let it keep up organizational space in your house. Don't shove it in the top of a closet. Put it out of your house. If you absolutely can't part with it. I have one suitcase from my entire life, and I kept only my favorite things. And I know you guys with kids, because this is a struggle, you really, like, that's a whole other conversation I can't get into today, but I ended up with one box for each of my kids for their lives too. So we're just never going to sit there and go through 10,000 different little art pages. We're not going to do it. We're not going to. The only time we feel the sentiment is when we're actually looking at it. So put a picture of it on your phone. You can look at that much more often than you can something that's stuck in the back of a closet. Plus, again, you could probably release it to somebody who would really treasure it. I don't feel like something is valuable if it's not being used. I think it's just a wasted energetic space. And I know that's a personal thing. I think that for you to really love something, you need to be able to use it, not just have it tucked away in a box or a closet or in a storage unit. My personal feeling. So I know a lot of you have to work on that, and I understand, but that's something that definitely needs to be worked on, because I'm 50. What if I've kept 10 things from every year of my life? I'd have 500 things somewhere. That's a lot of stuff. All right. So make sure you don't have duplicates of anything in your home, and make sure that everything in your home has a spot. Label maker. I have my favorite label maker. I'll post it down below. I've had it for years. They still make the tape for it. I absolutely adore it. It's easy to use. It's a Brothers. I'll post the number down below. Highly recommend that you label things. I love labels. And whatever space that something belongs in, if you run out of space, let's say you have a sock drawer. If your sock drawer is too full, you can't get more socks. You either have to get rid of socks, or you can't bring any more in. If no more can fit in there and you need to put a sock over here in your underwear drawer, you have too many socks. You see what I'm saying? Whatever space it belongs in, you can't have more than fits in that space. So make that a rule of thumb. So how are we going to do this? Well, first of all, we need to establish those routines for dealing with and handling and purging things daily. Mail, laundry, dishes, putting things away. Second, we need to set up regular declutter routines. 15 minutes at a time. So if you need to clean out your shelving unit, set a timer, do it for 15 minutes, only take out what you can deal with in 15 minutes, and then do another 15 minutes tomorrow. I highly recommend something that I got from a lady named Fly Lady, who definitely look her up. And it's called the 27 Fling Boogie. It's where you get a trash bag. It's usually for getting rid of trash, but you could do giveaways the same way. Get a bag for trash, get a box for giveaways, and set a timer for 15 minutes and go through every room of your house and everything that can be thrown away, put in that trash bag. Do that once a week. Same thing with giving giveaways. Set a timer for 15 minutes, get a box and go through every room of your house and fill that box in 15 minutes. You do that regularly. You do one shelf, one drawer, one fling at a time. You will get organized over time. What we do is we go in all at it, we crash and we burn, and then we are too exhausted to do anymore and we never finish. So highly recommend you do this in systems and routines. And then, like I said, use a label maker, make sure everything has a space of its own and that it fits there. And if you can't see it or find it, you're going to forget about it and you're not going to use it. So I like it so that I can see everything. I have a lot of systems for a lot of things. You can see I have a lot of notebooks back here, but I have systems for all of this stuff and I don't keep anything I don't need. So that's all I have for organization and decluttering for now. Again, we could probably spend a whole month on these two subjects from the last 2 days or more, probably a whole year, honestly, decluttering, organizing, setting up systems and routines. And we can definitely work on that if that's something you guys are into. So you just have to let me know. So if you're in the 2021 Crushing It group, let's set up some systems. Okay. So what I would need you to do is set up a regular system for dealing with clutter. I'm gonna have to think about that and I'll post some ideas for you for some specifics. But if you're here on my YouTube channel and you're just visiting, if you like this, definitely say subscribe, hit that notification bell and stick around for more because we're gonna do more of this year. We've been doing 30 days of crushing it and we're gonna spread this out through the whole year and just really keep crushing our goals so we can create the life of our dreams, the life that we want, and clear up that space energetically so we can make room for more. So thanks for visiting. Thanks for sticking around. My name is Alicia McPeak. I'll see you soon.